peace, kings and queens, gods and goddesses. Don't I just have the potatoiest head? Look like Mrs. Potato Head. It's just that potato shape. Okay, for real, for real. We back. Okay, seriously, I was back. Y'all know what people tend to ignore? Patterns. They just sweep them under the rug. I don't know, make them disappear. I don't know what y'all really be doing with them, or what we really be doing with them, but we don't acknowledge them often. And that is really a problem. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, I'm not only referring to patterns in relationships. I'm referring to life patterns also. Now, identifying patterns isn't the easiest thing. So I understand why they aren't acknowledged as such, even as often. But this is why awareness is so important. Our lives are full of patterns, from jobs to friends to family to significant others, and just so on. There's a lot of patterns. We are pretty much always operating in some type of pattern, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not implying that all patterns are bad, but the ones that are must change. And that's just for the better. Examples are absolutely needed for this topic, so we're going to get into it. Let's acknowledge your work just for a moment. When we start working, it typically doesn't take long for us to feel or think that we hate. I don't really like using the word, but we're going to have to make it work for these examples. We hate it, or at least we hate the job majority of the time. You following me? Now, our next thought or feeling is that typically that a new job would suffice. Then we get a new job, and for a little while, it's okay. Until eventually we start to hate that job also. Then the pattern or the cycle continues. Or we just say fuck it and suck it up. And we remain at the job that we hate so much because we need a job. And this is what we have been programmed to believe. Even if we lose the job, we go out and get another job. Please allow me to provide some insight on jobs. They are designed to drain us energetically, physically, emotionally, and inevitably spiritually to keep this system up and running. This is another form of programming and control that we aren't even aware, that we don't acknowledge started generations before us. This is a generational pattern that we fell into since it's now our time to work. since we are drained, we wouldn't have the drive to do something different or start our own business or break the pattern or or cycle, and so on. Now, this might go over some people's head. I know. But if you truly think about it, think about the way a job causes you to feel. Is it really that far stretched or fetched? Whichever one it is. I don't know. Because I don't think so, especially not if you're actually thinking about like think about every job you worked. Think about the job you got now. How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? When you get off, are you drained? These are just some things to think about to kind of pinpoint the insight that I just tried to, give. Anyways, why is it that we don't quit our job to explore our passions majority of the time? I will tell you why. Fear. This systematic pattern is so hard to break because we fear the unknown. But we have been programmed to fear the unknown. To break this pattern, we not only have to bring awareness to it, but we have to find the best way for us to not succumb to fear, if that helps. I'm trying to word this the best I can. But that's just that. Now, in all relationships, you'll find patterns. It's literally inevitable. People break up and make up with individuals all the time, not at all acknowledging the patterns that are there, that are present, that needs to be acknowledged. With some relationships, more so with women than men, I'll be the first to admit, as a woman, individuals will fall out and completely show their ass. I'm talking show their ass. Talking about the person, spreading rumors, wishing ill upon them, and other very wild things. And then these individuals want to return to rekindle the relationship y'all once had. Okay, then depending upon the individual, this happens again and again and again and again. Now, the circumstances could be different every time, but character traits of these people are not changing. Are you acknowledging that? Are you identifying this pattern? Now let's get into the minds of individuals you have relationships with. Would I like to say minds? Yeah, I would like to say minds. Yeah, definitely minds, because people cannot hide their true colors. Thank goodness. Actions will always overpower words. If someone is treating you bad or the give and take isn't equal, or talking negatively to you, about you, around you, or very jokey about things that you're sensitive about, or only encourage certain behaviors, amongst so many other things that I don't really have time to name. This is this really a relationship that you want? Now, if these actions are within multiple relationships that you have in your life, are you aware of the pattern that's directly in front of you? Do you realize that these are individuals that you are attracting? And this is subconsciously due to a traumatized version, no, a traumatized version of yourself and your trauma bonding. That's what I want to say. Your trauma bonding with these people. Once again, think about all of the individuals you choose to keep relationships with, how they make you feel, their actions, how disagreements play out, and so forth. Think about these things. Think about key details or traits or anything that sticks out to you. Hold on to it. Identify it. Acknowledge it. Do you see it in other people that you're around? This is actually very important. Now, does what I'm saying, I'm sorry, after you think about all these things, does what I'm implying about how you are attracting these individuals and you're bonding with these individuals and the lack of acknowledgement is bringing on more individuals, does that make sense to you when you sit and think about the type of individuals that you're actually surrounded by? And the most difficult part about this is like we tend to try to see everybody in this positive light, even if they don't deserve to be seen in this positive light. And that does more harm than good also, because we're not even allowing ourselves to see people for exactly who the hell they are. It's hard, but it's doable. Even our parents' patterns stay with us. I often hear things like, my mom did the shit by herself, I can too. Completely ignoring the fact that the mom struggled the entire time. This pattern is so powerful because independence is viewed from trauma instead of what it truly is. There's entirely so much more strength in partnership than in independence, especially as a mom. I don't feel like I should have to say more than that, especially if you're a single mom with kids, because the level of exhaustion is real. It gets really real. But that generational pattern cycle that's made being a single parent look so, I don't even know the word, because again, I can bring awareness and acknowledge the truth, the struggle, the heartache, the exhaustion that comes with that. So I'm not sure how it's in this illuminating light as it is now, but people definitely need to bring awareness to this. Now, most men weren't taught or shown the attributes or responsibilities of being a man or father in a healthy, beneficial way. So, inevitably, all that's left for them to do is continue the pattern or cycle from, the things that they experienced, or it is not what they experienced, it's what they took from the experience to turn them into the man or father that they are today. I really hope that y'all are following me, because this pattern will look, different for each individual. But these cycles or patterns are the hardest to break. In my personal opinion, because these are patterns that we often ignore purposely, since we try to convince ourselves that we're nothing like, once again, we're nothing like our parents. And I really don't like being the bearer of bad news, but it's inevitable that we are like our parents. And I'm not saying like in all ways, but character traits are learned and developed in childhood. And who are we around more than our parents or our families? Nobody. A lot of our behavior traits, all of those things, we obtain when we are children. How we communicate, how we love, everything. Shit, I'm not even about to give y'all a list. Everything. So inevitably, yes, we would be like our parents unless we heal. Facts. Now, in partnerships, it's easy to get blinded by love and hope and security. To name a few things, even sex. So we don't always see things for exactly what they are. Now, let's say you're dealing with someone whose intentions isn't pure, or isn't making you happy, or the partnership is stressful. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. This will inevitably look different for everyone anyways. But let's say y'all break up and you move on. In the sense this person returned to you, can you identify the patterns within this individual? Or if you actually move on, what patterns did you notice? How can you identify these patterns in other individuals? Are you once again aware that you are attracting these individuals? Are these things that you are considering? Majority of the time, we are not. And we find ourselves in the same predicament, different circumstances, with another person. But why is it that we don't remove these people and take time to heal and figure ourselves out? What we want, what makes us happy. Just taking time for self. The answer is it's always the same. It's fear. The fear of being alone. We would rather have all of these toxic relationships than accept that we deserve better, remove these individuals, work on ourselves, and then acquire better. We have to become independent. No, I'm sorry. We have to become dependent of ourselves instead of dependent on outside sources. The security that you're looking for isn't outside of you, it's within you. And I say we because I have been there. I have. It's taken me a long time to get here, shit. Throw it out there. But now I am my best friend. I'm the best supporter to myself. I give myself unconditional love. I trust my intuition to guide me, to protect me. Shit. All of it. I make myself happy. I see strength in myself. I see strength in assistance. I know that I deserve help. So hell yeah, I'm gonna ask for it. I just playing. But no, for real, it's so much more, y'all. Like, seriously, like, this is a whole game changer. And I'm not implying that I don't have anyone at all. I'm stating that I've stopped a lot of patterns to become the best and most authentic version of myself. And the individuals that have accepted me are still around, and I am appreciative and grateful for them internally, always. And I love them unconditionally. Well, I love everybody unconditionally, but I don't know, they hold a special place in my heart because the support isn't as, it's not a lot. So it's nice to have the support that I have. It's time that we acknowledge that everything and everyone is not good for us. And it's time that we also acknowledge what's helping us grow and what's holding us back. Because patterns is at the top of that hold you back list if you're continuing bad patterns. If you're not even acknowledging the patterns that are causing harm, or you're not learning the lessons, that's another thing that will continue patterns in your life. You can't move on unless you learn something. And this is really just everything that life has taught me. And I'm, more than anything, I'm very grateful because I've come so far. And this was hard. But if I can do it, anybody can fucking do it. I don't care. I don't care. We got this. I'm rooting for y'all. Let's break them patterns together. For real, we can do it. Amen. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace out.